So, race 14 out of 24 here at Adria Karting Raceway for the second round of the 2021 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season. Let's have a look at the starting order for Heat 4 for Senior Rotax Groups B versus D. So, Zsombor Kovács and Luka Lystra from Hungary and Belgium respectively will be on the front row. Behind them will be Lewis Gilbert and Callum Bradshaw. Elia Galvanin and Enzo Caldajas will be on row number 3. Alexander Abkazava and Ethan Fahamond will be row 4, ahead of Patrick Donica from Poland and Felix Janssen from Sweden, who complete the top 10. The top 20 is rounded out by Francis Oscar Pelmele in the 308, the 373 of Francis Tombilou, the 345 of Great Britain's Teddy Clinton, the 610 of Italy's Leonardo Tiozzo, and then the 384 of Latvia's Patrick Slokmelis. Mario Sidler representing Switzerland in the 305 is 16th, ahead of Luna Blom from the Netherlands in the 319. The 395 of Norway's Theo Eriksson, the 314 of France's Mika Barthelemy, and Matteo Pianizola from Italy in the 318 round out the top 20. And rounding out the 31-strong grid, going into battle for 10 minutes plus an additional lap, will be Noah Hipp from France, Beer Dorrestein from the Netherlands, Kilian Tavernier and Arthur Horsch also from France, Bas Janssen, Israel's Yaden Ived, Stormbrouwer from the Netherlands, Leonardo Del Col, Corentin Franchi, Matteo Richter, and Ricardo Di Landro. So 31 drivers, that's 15 and a half rows of drivers ready to go into battle for 10 minutes plus an additional lap. So could we have two double winners? Because Callum Bradshaw's already had a heat win today. Could he also go level with Sean Butcher 2 for 2 today? Well, we'll probably find out soon. In just probably about the best part of about 11 and a half minutes. But all results called by myself today are provisional until the conclusion of any judicial and also technical matters that need to be resolved. So it's Kovács, Lystra, Gilbert, Bradshaw, Galvanin, Caldajas, Abkazava, Fahamor, Donica and Jansson. That is your top 10 going into the 4th out of 6 heats for Senior Rotax. Out of the final corner they come. To the tram lines we go, and now they start now, right. I'm just going to see. Right, okay, they are stopping the field. So the drivers now looking to do their level best to keep themselves composed under what is going on at this particular moment in time. So it seems like we appear to have a start. The red lights on the starting gantry. We seem to have a technical problem at the moment, which is currently being investigated. Hence the respective delay that we are seeing. So they're now going to extend. Now Luka Lystra is trying to get his kart started ahead of Callum Bradshaw, but managed to get away. So it looks like it might have just been a slight glitch, but we're going to get another formation lap before the drivers get themselves going. So this is going to be an interesting one. And who's your money on for today in this 4th out of 6 heat? 6 heats here. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm not one for making predictions, but I'm looking forward to seeing this journey unfold in terms of the chapters that get written in the history of the Euro Trophy as we proceed onwards. So it's Kovács, Lystra, Gilbert, Bradshaw, Galvanin, Caldajas, Abkazava, Fahamor, Donica and Janssen. Out of the final corner, second time of asking. Let's see if things get underway. We head into the tram lines. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights out, they are off and racing. And oh, we've had someone go very wide going out into turn 1 at the back part of the field. But looks like Zomborkovac has gotten away initially and has got Lewis Gilbert for company. So the young Scot from Dorian Ayrshire. I know that his mum Jennifer is going to be watching from home. But you're now going to see that there's going to be a lot of action out on the circuit, and it's already kicked up another few degrees of temperature. Forget the 24 degrees air temperature that we've got on the circuit. This track is absolutely red hot for racing, and these drivers are showcasing how close, how finite it can be at this particular moment in time. So Zomborkovac will lead the field ahead of Lewis Gilbert. Luca Leicester in third. Callum Bradshaw actually overtakes Luca Leicester on the previous lap, and now is closing in, and there is the top 3. Gilbert's in the lead ahead of Kovac. Now Bradshaw will want to strike early, and he does so up the inside of the Hungarian through the next left-hander after T2. Now into the next left-hander at the hairpin at turn 5, and behind Leicester, Enzo Calderhas has got himself up into 5th position, having started in 6th place ahead of Felix Janssen, Elia Galvanin, Ethan Fahamond, Oscar Pellemele and Teddy Clinton, who round out the top 10. Multiple drivers have dropped down to the bottom of the order. That includes Artur Horsch and Stomper. Jarden Ived, who started in 26, now finds himself down in 30th in the 6:03 entry. But Gilbert now hanging on ahead of Bradshaw. It's a Strawberry Racing 1-2 as they come across the line, separated by less than a tenth. Leicester puts in the fastest lap of anybody, 51.706, and Bradshaw's got the lead and got the carry of momentum around the outside of turn 2. So the Brit made it through 3, and then into the left-hander here at 4. Now into the left-hander hairpin here at 5, and Callum Bradshaw starting as he meant to go on. But look at the melee down here. Oh my goodness me. You've got Teddy Clinton, you've got Felix Janssen in there as well. And that is probably the battle from around about 5th downwards. Maybe even consider Alexander Abkazava's in that. So there's the quartet at the front of the field. Then there's an absolutely huge gap. Now that looks to be Enzo Calderhas that's got himself up into 5th position ahead of Felix Janssen. We'll find out very shortly as the drivers are about to cross the line. And now Callum Bradshaw has put the pedal to the metal and he started pulling away. And is ahead of Zomborkovac by over 4 tenths. Luca Leicester just put in the fastest lap of anybody. The young Belgian from Bouvin Power closing on Lewis Gilbert for P3. Calderhas in 5th, Galvanin, Pellemele, Clinton up to 8th. Head of Lokmelis, Fahamon, Janssen, Abkazalva rounds out the top 12. They are all fighting over the scraps on the table. And no one's going to give an inch, no one's going to give a mile. It's close quarter combat at its best here in Senior Rotax. And we still have 2 more heats to go. And there are dramas. That is the 3:25. I believe that. Yep, that is the 3:25. And that driver is now out of the running. And that's France's Noah Hit. So, unfortunately, it's bon voyage, I'm afraid, for that young French driver there. But we go on to lap number 5, and Callum Bradshaw consistently putting in the hot laps. He's treating this like a glorified qualifying session, is the 3:58 from Great Britain. And he's currently 2nd in the standings. This is going to do him no harm whatsoever. Lewis Gilbert tries to switch back on Luca Leicester, who instantly does a bit of the old Mark Kimber switchback right there. Nice and clinical from the Belgian. But Lewis Gilbert, not exactly... well, he's very well experienced in terms of European competition. He's raced in the B&L Karting Series, and he's also been with us in the Euro Trophy, and he goes back up the inside of Luca Leicester. So this squabble for P3 is not over yet, but what that's going to allow is Zomborkovac to try and go hunting after Callum Bradshaw. But that's easier said than done, as Bradshaw has gone in and put in a 50.832 and has got a lead of over 7 tenths of a second. And there's Leicester again up the inside of Gilbert. This is swinging more from left to right more times than a pendulum. And to be honest with you, Gilbert is doing a fantastic job of just keeping Luca Leicester honest. And I know for a fact that Gilbert will want that 3rd place. And he will do everything in his power. Every fibre of muscle in his being will be used to its absolute limit to try and push. So Buzz Janssen out. Noah Hip out, unfortunately. Riccardo Di Landro is down to 27th behind countryman Leonardo Del Col in the 606. Corentin Franchi ahead of Matteo Richter from the Czech Republic. Theo Eriksson and Artur Horsch ran out the top 25 as there are battles up and down the order. So Bradshaw again pushes the envelope. He's now running what he has run in the last 2 laps on a 50.8. A 50.841, 9 1,000ths off of his previous lap time, which on lap number 5 was the fastest lap of this race. So Bradshaw looking to make it 2 for 2 as well. And now you can see this battle royale. Forget manga anime comics of the same name. You've got one here in the sunshine here at Adria. And to be completely honest with you, there are quite a few drivers that are looking rather racy. Teddy Clinton being one of them from Great Britain, with Dan Holland Racing running on the EOS chassis. And he's going to be battling away with the likes of Elia Galvanin and Oscar Pelmele, I believe. As well, you can see there's a lot. There's the likes of Ethan Fahamond, Alexander Abkazava and Enzo Calderas. So a lot of changes happening up and down the order. Theo Eriksson has been passed by Artur Horsch, and also Corentin Franchi. Stompreur has got past Riccardo Di Landro. It's been a weekend for the 338 from SP Motorsport to quite clearly forget right now. As all 3 wide, nearly going into the hairpin. As that was the 372 of Ethan Fahamond trying to go up the inside of Felix Janssen. But then Mika Barthelemy, I think, got his nose stuck in there as well. There's Luna Blum. Waiting in the wings, I believe, in the 319, and they're not too far behind another JJ Racing car behind Mika Barthelemy and Tom Bilou. That is Mario Sidler from Switzerland. So 3 minutes to go. Bradshaw now has the lead of just over 9/10 of a second. Luca Lystra puts in the fastest lap. 50.738 from the Belgian from Bouvin Power, running on the Tony Kart chassis. And he started to pull away from Lewis Gilbert. Gilbert's put in a personal best as well. Elia Galvanin rounds out the top 5. This battle here is absolutely captivating with these drivers. And it's not quite over yet. Luna Blum, very, very feisty charger in her own right. And showed the distinct optimization of intestinal fortitude last season at Wackersdorf. Alexander Abkazava gets a little bump from behind courtesy of Tom Bilou, and that allows Mario Sidler to try and go up the inside, and it looks like that's happened. But it's all fair in love and war. Who's that that's got off the track? That's the 385. That is Felix Janssen, who's dropped the car off of the circuit and has dropped into the clutches of the Wolfpack chasing behind. So the Swede, who was running up in 9th position, loses an absolute smorgasbord of places. Make that 5. As there is Luna Blum trying to keep on the tail of Patrick Slokmelis with KSB representing Latvia. Now, if anyone might remember Wackersdorf last year, an incident between her and another JJ Racing teammate of Wackersdorf last year at Wackersdorf saw her come out and get medically checked over, and the next heat she went out in, she went and showed them what she's capable of with a belly full of adrenaline coursing through her veins, and finished P5 in her return back onto the track after the lunch break. So Luna Blum has got pedigree. Noah Hipp out, Baz Janssen out. Make that a further 2 drivers. The 327 of Enzo Calderas and the 382 of Poland's Patryk Donika. Out with a couple of moments to go. We have just over a minute remaining. Callum Bradshaw has been opening up the taps on that Tony Kart chassis, because now he's well over a second clear of Zsombor Kovac, who now has to fight tooth and nail with Belgium's Luca Lystra for 3rd in this race. And now Lystra makes the move up the inside of the right-hand hairpin, the penultimate corner on this circuit before they go into the left-hand kink. That brings them into the right-hander, that brings them onto the start-finish straight. So Callum Bradshaw brings them onto the 12th and penultimate lap of this race. Comfortable gap for him at the moment, 1.5 seconds for the number 358, who hasn't gotten crossed up once at all in both heats so far, but he does like getting crossed up on inclemental weather conditions on slick tyres, as we found out at Genk back in early April. But Zsombor Kovac may have to sort of call it a day for second position, but the timer is very close to hitting 0. But Callum Bradshaw manages to keep ahead of the rest of the opposition. And now the time has struck 0. Final lap board for the 3:58. The current reigning OK Senior FIA World Karting Champion Callum Bradshaw crosses the line to start his 13th and final lap of this, the 4th of 6 heats for Senior Rotax. Lystra second, Kovac, Gilbert, Galvanin, Pelmele, Teddy Clinton up to 7th, having started 13th in this race, ahead of Ethan Fahamont, Patrick Lokmelis, Alexander Abkazava, Mika Barthelemy, Luna Blum, Felix Janssen, Tom Bilou, Mario Sidler, Matteo Pianizola, Leonardo Tiozzo, Bedorstein, Alto Horsch and Theo Eriksson rounding out the top 20. Stormbrower, Matteo Richter, Leonardo Del Col, Corentin Franchi, Ricardo Di Landro, Yara Nived and Kilian Tarnier round out the 27 that are still running. But it has been dominance personified. Callum Bradshaw out of the final corner, and he becomes the second two-time winner here on Heats Day, and so he equals the feat that has also been done by one Sean Butcher. Luka Lystra rounds out the top 2 ahead of pole sitter Zombor Kovac, with Lewis Gilbert, the Dorey Diamond, rounding out the top 4. Elia Galvanin would also round out the top 5, actually finishing where he started, P5. Good run by Oscar Pelmele, 11th to 6th at the end of it all, with Teddy Clinton finishing starting behind Pelmele and actually finishing the position behind. Ethan Fahamont, Patrick Slokmelis and Alexander Abkazava ran at the top 10. Mika Barthelemy, Luna Blum, Felix Janssen, Tom Bilou, Mario Sidler, Matteo Pianizola, Leonardo Tiozzo ran at the top 17 ahead of Pierre Dorstein, Alto Horsch, Theo Eriksson, Stormbrower, Matteo Richter, Leonardo Del Col, Ricardo Di Landro, Corentin Franchi, Yada Nived and Kilian Tarnier from France rounding out the 27th of the finish. Unfortunately, 4 retirements. On lap 8, it was Enzo Calderas and Patrick Donica on lap 8. Lap 3, Noah Hip, and the very first lap, Baz Janssen.